Let's don't let a good thing die.
Why are they throwing fire at each other? Like, what's going on? Help me, please. I am so confused. What's up, my good people, and welcome back for our brand new video. And for this video right now, we're gonna kick back and watch some of the creepiest TikToks I could find this week.
I just witnessed an orb being followed by a helicopter. Watch this video, it's right over my house. Yo, that is a freaking orb. That's an orb being chased by a helicopter. What the hell? That is a straight up orb, dude. Being followed by a freaking helicopter. What the hell? I just now pulled up. Smells like something's burning. That is nuts.
That's gotta be the best footage I've seen of an orb yet.
Uh-oh. Do y'all remember when I told you to watch Mexico? They always gotta show you. What are the chances that Little Caesar collabs with none other than Mountain Dew and releases a new flavor? Mango Rush? But look at the background. I see fire, mangoes, certain kinds of trees. Even bigger, the color of the mango. Of course, this is for the people that are aware of the Mountain Dew rabbit hole. Pitch black, something burst. We'll come right back to this. Before we talk about what's going to come, let's talk about how I knew. So living in the rabbit hole for 14 years, one thing I always watch is the comments. And that was when I discovered the UFO unidentified, which is now identified object being a lion in the sky. If you hadn't seen the video, it was when there was an asteroid over Mexico City and then this UFO which showed up and controlled the asteroid. But if you watch my video, then you know these shooting stars, they're really crazy. Ones always signal something big coming. Turkey, Spain, I mean everywhere, I'm not getting into it. Completely irrelevant, it's been crazy hot this year. Not really, but there's still fire. So I was minding my own business when I saw this shooting star, which is a fallen angel that was fighting a UFO, which is an actual angel with the face of a lion. And thus, this place right here was planted in my subconscious mind to pay attention. And then came the new dew. With the mangoes of a certain color, the trees, and the fire. Bet you it's gonna be really hot in Mexico this year. You know, it's summer. Pay attention, please.
I even seen a creator say that she's never seen them build a new cemetery. And I thought to myself, you're right. I've never seen them open a new cemetery. It's been the same cemeteries here that's been here since we've been here. And that gotta make you think, like, what is really going on with all of these bodies? Where are all of these bodies going? Caskets and all. And I'm not talking about on a supernatural or spiritual plane. I'm talking about the physical. When you really think about it, it is no way that all of these bodies could be in these cemeteries. All over. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But y'all need to check his story out. Cause he might tell it a little bit better than I told it. And you might feel a little bit different hearing it from him. This shit crazy.
Back when I was a kid, McDonald's signs would always say like billions and billions served every day. And I always thought to myself like, damn, that's a lot of cows. What in the world? This is the type of stuff you see walking in Walmart.
Supposedly do have something that crashed, and they supposedly do have biological entities that are on ice somewhere. This is, of course, according to these whistleblowers that work for the government, and now we're talking about, I just don't know what's real. It's hard to know. and you talk about it, you feel like a moron.
Something up there.
I think the other problem with the president knowing, can they keep things from the president? Of course they can. The president is only there for 4 years. And then he has to get in there again. And if he wins, he's only there for 4 more years. These fucking people have 30-year careers, 50-year careers in the intelligence agencies.
They know.
If they know something, and they've known something since, fucking Gerald Ford, why would they tell you? Why do you need to know?
And
We've already been hiding this from the population for so long.
And those old timers didn't need what's that mean? I have to sign something?
NDA?
NDA, like NDA, whatever the fuck.
No, there's no
like
NDA back then.
There's no NDAs back then. So there was something to it.
Yeah.
There was something to it. You got that place in New Mexico. You got Hudson County, what we discussed before, with the Martians landing. You have all these places that have a higher volume. I wonder what's number 2 in UFO sightings.
I wonder what's number 1. What's number 1? Is it Hudson Valley?
Yeah, Hudson Valley by the George Washington Bridge, that whole thing.
That's crazy.
That's number 1.
That.
Oh.
Holy
Damn, my man was in space longer than Katy Perry.
This is a lady in Germany who was determined to be possessed. He was working with a priest. She never did receive complete deliverance from the demonic oppression, and then she eventually died.
At 23 years old, she died.
In a few moments, you're going to hear the terrifying real audio recordings. Emily Rose was diagnosed with epilepsy, but her family refused to believe this, as they were convinced demonic possession was the cause of her symptoms.
She started experiencing this at 16 years old, and she would go to 6 different voices she would make, right? And each voice sounds different. Try making this sound naturally. Like, if you really try to yourself make this sound naturally, go try to do it.
You can make her crazy.
I remember watching The Exorcist of Emily Rose back when I was younger, but to be honest with you, that movie really wasn't even scary.
Predictive programming.
Okay.
When I was a kid, there was an episode, $6 Million Man. He was Bigfoot. They also had Bigfoot going through this weird tunnel, and it was like circular. As a kid, I was like, that's just not Bigfoot. It was weird.
Yeah.
Bigfoot, they kind of connected him to the pyramids, space, time travel, some sort of mysticism.
Right.
Land of the Lost had time travel. It also had pyramids. Cavemen, it also had like touch to mysticals, and it had sleep stacks, which to me represent reptilians. I didn't know any of this stuff, and now 45 years later, and I'm like, wait, that talked about this talked about this talked.
Yeah.
So they say they put it out there, which goes into a deeper conversation.
Right, like the bigger powers that be know these things exist, but they kind of sprinkle it into us.
Them men were fighting for their lives to keep that balloon on the ground. At that point, I would have just let it fly, baby.
People have no idea where cell phones came from. So cell phones are extraterrestrial technology. Have you seen the pictures of the original Nokia phone? They're symbols instead of letters. It's ancient, thousands and thousands of years ago, but it was found. You gotta look this up. There's actual pictures. It's so cool, unless they've censored it. iPhones originally used to be called Me's. Used to be a device where certain beings could communicate with the gods, which were extraterrestrial. It's really set up for addiction, tracking and monitoring humans. And we've made our whole society around this.
Remember when I said that it felt like the end times clock just took a giant tick forward with the passing of Pope Francis?
I am Abdullah, the successor of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, the successor of the Comforter Ahmed, the successor of Simon Peter, the successor of Muhammad, the successor of Jesus Christ. I am the true and legitimate Pope. I am the proof upon the Christians. I am the son of the Muslims through my father, and the son of the Christians and the Jews through my mother. I am the son of the East through my father, and the son of the West through my mother. I am like Zulkarnain, who with one horn in the East and one in the West, and I am the inheritor of all that lies between. I am more knowledgeable than any false pope, and I am appointed by name in the will of the prophets. My name is also on the tongue of Isaiah, who prophesied of the righteous servant, and he said, he will see his offspring and prolong his days, and the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand.
In Matthew 24, the disciples came to Jesus and said, what sign will signal your return and the end of the world? And Jesus responded, for many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah, and they will deceive many. It is not a coincidence that suddenly this guy's face is everywhere on the internet. Don't be deceived. Jesus is the only Messiah, and he will be the one returning for the people who've surrendered their lives to him.
The Mahdi is supposed to be recognized by the signs. So far, I don't see the signs. I smell fraud.
I think we're about to break the curse of the firmament. So yesterday I was talking about how they need our energy, and that's why they keep triggering us and doing all this shit. Because we're not feeding into all of this bullshit that they're putting out there, they have nothing else to keep us here. Keep us in this fucked up ass thing that we've been down there for so long. Y'all shit's about to get real. Real.
Oh, wow.
This is taken by the police officer.
St. Paul boy, 16, dies in car accident. John Boulware, 16, 1485 Sergeant Avenue, St. Paul, died about 7:45 p.m. Thursday when a car he was in hit a tree.
The police are the first on scene when anything like this happens. And that would be when the spirit is freshest. Even if it's not intelligent, because that very well could be because high impact car accidents are going to release a lot of energy.
Right.
Could just be the manifestation of it. But that's fascinating.
It's fascinating. And when you go down to the comparison photo,
wow,
it's him.
Yeah, there's no question.
There's no freaking
There's no question.
No, that is absolutely him.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And I don't know, it's always fascinated me. In my opinion, this is probably the most...
It is absolutely one of the most compelling
one of the most
pictures out there.
I completely
mostly because
agree.
you have the comparison, the story behind it is so compelling. It's so strong because that would be the reaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
The last reaction, the last moment, the anguish, the screaming.
That's crazy. I can't imagine what that must have felt like.
Self-sabotage isn't random. It's a frequency problem. When you start to level up, when you stretch beyond your old identity, your nervous system panics, not because you're broken, but because growth feels unsafe to a body that's used to surviving, not thriving. So what happens? You procrastinate, you ghost opportunities, you attract drama, you fall back into old habits. Not because you don't want it, but because your energy is still tethered to the old you. Here's the shift. The next time you catch yourself sabotaging, don't shame yourself. Don't spiral. Pause, breathe, recognize this is just old survival energy trying to keep me small, and choose differently even if it feels uncomfortable. Because healing isn't about being fearless. It's about moving forward while your body still remembers fear. That's how you rewire your destiny.
What do you mean by devil music?
What if I told you there are levels to this thing we call music? Not just beats or lyrics, but something deeper. I'm talking about vibrational frequencies. Real sounds that can control how you feel without you even knowing. You can walk into a church, yeah, even a holy place, and they're playing these frequencies. Not hymns, frequencies. Ones that stir emotions, ones that make you cry, make you give, make you believe. Some mega churches? They run sound waves that can mess with your head. They use it to pull money, to push beliefs, and it works. Because it's science. Sound can move the heart or mess with the mind. But it doesn't stop in church. Ask yourself, who made the music you love? What's their intent? What's that song really feeding you? Is it lifting your soul or quietly breaking it down? Are you thinking darker thoughts now? Feeling emptier? That's devil music, not fire and pitchforks, just hidden control wrapped in rhythm. It's not about what you hear. It's about how it changes you.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
It's sad, but at the same time, so true.
The judge also issued a very important order that was pretty much a win for Diddy by granting his motion to exclude testimony about prior bad acts from all but one proposed witness.
So when a defendant is charged with something, often especially in domestic violence and sex assault cases where it's emotionally charged, the prosecution will look at other things the defendant has done in the past that kind of show the character of the defendant or show how they make these decisions. And they do these things to bring credibility to the evidence you're hearing and sort of corroborate it. If it's so damning, why did we not charge this victim as well, right? Like, why are they not also a victim on this case? So a balance between how many uncharged other acts you can bring in versus when you should actually bring the charges for them. What's interesting about this ruling is that it kind of refers back to a Harvey Weinstein ruling last year that led to one of his verdicts being overturned because too much evidence came in through other acts.
Doesn't surprise me. Our justice system is so corrupt it ain't even funny.
80s babies know the show. New York City is the spot. You have to realize how you spending billions of dollars building, but underneath those buildings is their diet. That's what they go and eat their food. That's their diet. If you remember the show, you know exactly what they eat.
Yo.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm in Tokyo. You guys see anything weird? Do you see anything weird? I'll post it on the screen. I don't know. Well, I do know. Okay. This is very odd. You got this right here. You know, I look into symbols and whatnot. It looks like they even have it here too. Not sure. I'm gonna look what this means. What this is, this place. Stay tuned. Okay, I just looked it up. I found out what it is. It's an adult entertainment club. And get this. Look who's right in front of the place. It's right behind me. Police. Why is the police right in front of an adult entertainment club with the symbols? Not a coincidence, just saying.
I actually see these symbols all over the place. Once your eyes are open, you'll notice everything.
The FDA just announcing that it is phasing out the use of artificial food dyes by the end of the year for big companies. Change is going to hit the big major food companies, including PepsiCo, General Mills, Kellogg's, and others. Among the products likely affected, foods such as those red flaming hot Cheetos, Mountain Dew, Baja Blast, and rainbow-colored Skittles. Last month, HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. told food executives that removing artificial dyes is an urgent priority of the Trump administration.
I will admit that this is great news, but only thing I'd like to know is why was it even allowed in the first place?
An underground discovery in China. In October 2024, while workers were building a road, they uncovered a structure buried under a thick layer of earth.
She's going.
The next one's bigger. The next one's bigger, bro. Parker.
Oh, it flipped him over the rock. I told you.
I told you. You don't get a man like that. Look. Yo, y'all better move, lifeguard. Come get them. Look. I told them. They flip over the rocks. Oh my God. I told y'all, man. I told y'all. I hope y'all alright though. I ain't gonna lie. I hope y'all better move, son. Yo, come get them, man. Man, listen.
As much as I love the beach, seeing videos like this makes me never want to go back.
This story is chilling not only because it features a brutal murder, but because of the extreme lengths that one of the alleged killers went to after the killing. On June 27th, 1977, at around 7 a.m., a nurse named Mildred Garva pulled up to the famous Glen Sheen mansion in Duluth, Minnesota. An elderly woman, Elizabeth Congdon, lived there. Elizabeth needed constant care, which is why our nurse Mildred is there. So Mildred stepped onto the grand staircase, but midway up, she sees another sign that something might not be right. The night nurse, Velma Pietila, was lying on a window seat on the landing. She notices that Velma was covered in blood, and there were injuries all over her body. It looked like someone had literally beaten her. It didn't take Mildred long to confirm that Velma, the fill-in night shift nurse, was dead. If someone had hurt Velma during the night, they probably had made it to Elizabeth too. The elderly woman was in her bed with a bloody pillow over her face.
Okay.
The intruder had obviously suffocated her. So from there, the homicide investigation is underway. Right away, the police determined that Elizabeth didn't really have any enemies. This left one other motive for the people to consider, and that is obviously money. Elizabeth was the daughter of a wealthy miner. So she actually inherited this entire fortune. She was said to be worth about $8 million. Okay, so 8 million, 1970s, retired, elderly woman. Police are like, okay, the jewelry box has obviously been raided, and so they're thinking this is a robbery gone wrong. Someone came in, killed the night nurse, and killed her and stole some money.
You are uneducated.
Yeah, I'm stupid. Education. Let me say something about education. Let me say about education. Education. Don't use it. Don't use education. One thing about education, they give you two different versions of education because they tell you 1 times 1 is 1, but then they tell you how is it 1 when time's supposed to multiply and 1 can't multiply with 1. The fuck stop playing with me. It drives me crazy. I'm confused. 1 times 1 ain't 1. I'm gonna tell you why. What he forgot is they created 0. 0 just don't exist. That's all. When they made the number 0, 0 never exists. The real numbers go 1 to 9. I was like, mama, 10, 11, 12, 13, all the numbers is fake. Oh, tell him that. He don't know that. I was like, mama, see, I get different downloads. I was like, mama, 0 is a fake number. The real numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, repeat. I swear to God, that's what a lot of people don't know.
They're looking at him, they know something. And it's weird because Carl doesn't even look at him, not once.
Taught us what comedy was, because I mean, at first I couldn't get arrested getting a sitcom or anything, and he really taught us to be free. We were free on that set to just play.
Now, I couldn't find the clip, but do y'all remember years back where he was going crazy, running the streets, saying that somebody was trying to unalive him? So I don't know what they did with the real Martin, but this ain't him. I just want somebody to explain to me how Martin went from this to this to this and then this and now this, which reminds me of Jamie Foxx because like Jamie Foxx, he doesn't really have that same sense of humor, doesn't look the same, doesn't act the same. A lot of people are gonna say health issues, but just look at these clips.
But Tisha and I used to beg Martin. It was like we want to do more scenes together. So Martin came up with, because what I love about Martin, he allowed us to sing as well. And Tisha and I were going to sing. So I love the fact that he was able to incorporate that into it.
Kind of crazy how they were talking about him in past tense when the man is sitting right next to him. Like, what the?
This is really amazing about the reality of the demonic world. There's a guy named Richard Gallagher. He's a psychiatrist. He and his wife had 2 cats, and they loved each other. But one night, they went nuts on each other. They're attacking each other, hissing, they're growling, they're snarling, they're trying to kill each other. They literally had to rip them apart. So what the heck is going on? They couldn't figure it out. Well, the next morning, the doorbell rings at 9 in the morning, and it was a previous appointment. A Catholic priest was bringing a woman who claimed to be a high priestess of a satanic cult to be evaluated by him to see if she was mentally ill or perhaps demon possessed or whatever. So at 9 o'clock, the doorbell rings. He opens the door, and here's this woman who claims to be a priestess of a satanic cult. She kind of sneers at him, and she says, "How'd you like those cats last night?"
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. Thanks for watching the episode. Before you roll out, be sure to hit that like and sub button for your boy. All right, hold it down out there, my good people, and I'll see you in the next episode.